Alex Azar's in Taiwan. It has an excellent record of dealing with the coronavirus. China's quite angry about this trip. Would you say that we're sending a message to Beijing with the visit of Secretary Azar, or is this much larger of a shift in favor of Taiwan over the mainland?
So Secretary Azar is there for the singular purpose of working with the Taiwanese government on something that's important to everyone in the world, making sure we come to understand this Wuhan virus, to make sure we understand the threat, to make sure we know how Taiwan so successfully dealt with this issue in their own country. We want to share with them what we've learned, what we know too. We know an awful lot about this. That was the purpose of his visit. I must say, Sean, I'm always surprised that when the United States send its health minister to another country, why anyone would find that so threatening. He went there for the noble humanitarian purpose of reducing risk to citizens all across the world, including Chinese citizens. When they have to hide, it seems pretty weak when the mere presence of a health minister in a particular place working to defeat this global pandemic, you find threatening, or you find angering, or you find somehow challenging to your very nation's national security. I think that tells you a lot about the weakness of the Chinese Communist Party and the fact that it could feel threatened from such a visit.
Well, speaking of that threatenness, if China were to make provocative actions towards either Taiwan or its outlining islands, where's that red line for the U.S. in terms of us going in and defending Taiwan?
Well, Sean, this is obviously a very sensitive issue. The president's talked about this a great deal. We have a series of commitments and a series of understandings, commitments that we've made to China as well. We thoroughly intend to uphold our obligations and commitments with respect to the historical understandings between the United States and China on Taiwan. The Secretary Azar's visit is wholly consistent with those commitments, and we've told both the Chinese and the Taiwanese that we're going to continue to abide by that set of understandings. It's enshrined in U.S. law as well, so it's an obligation that we do so. I'm confident that we'll continue to keep up those promises. That's the difference, Sean, right? When we make promises, we live up to them, or we do our darn best to do so. When the Chinese Communist Party makes promises around the world, it's solely for their benefit. And when those promises are no longer of any value, they walk away from them.